Hello and welcome to True North EV. I'm James, your host, and today we're going to talk a bit about the 2025 GMC Hummer EV, the 2X one. So that's the one that we were showing at the World of Wheels Manitoba Electric Vehicle Association was showing. It was on loan to us from McNaught Buick GMC. So yeah, so the one that we had was the 2X, so two motors. I did drive it down to the convention center where the show was taking place, and with that, it was it is a Hummer. It's still a Hummer. Visibility is very poor. Um, it makes another it makes a weird noise as you push down on the accelerator to start. That makes it feel like you're driving an engine. It makes a little engine noise. And yeah, it's cuz I've driven an electric car for so long that I don't really want the fake noises. I don't need the fake noises. Talking to people though over the weekend, some liked that it had a fake noise. Um, some wanted more noise, but that's just kind of the crowd we were at. They like their loud vehicles, and that's cool, right? Dynaflow uh, manufactures, it's almost like a muffler speaker, so you could actually change what it sounds like. But hey, if that's what it will take, I guess go for it, right? So the Hummer 2X. Now that one, it has a 500-kilometer range. GM says it charges, or actually, I'm looking at Edmunds stats. They're saying 10.5 hours for home charging. I'm not sure if that's on 80 amps or 40 amps, just because it is a massive battery pack. That has the 200 kilowatt battery pack, same as the Sierra and the Silverado EVs, pickup trucks, right? So extremely inefficient, which is again, it's the Hummer way, right? Um, if you're looking for efficiency, you're not buying a Hummer. Um, so yeah, it's one of the most inefficient EVs out there, but great looking car, or I guess big SUV. Uh, it does have the all-wheel drive. It does have four-wheel steering, and I was told it has the cameras underneath, and that's what I've been telling people is that there's the cameras underneath for off-roading. But it does have the bird's eye view cameras. So when we were parking it at the show, it made it so easy for such a big vehicle. It was so easy to drive, so easy to get right into where you want it, and that was just me kind of parking it type deal. So even for one person trying to maneuver it around, it would be not bad. The one we brought was kind of a orangey red. So yeah, people loved it. We did lift it up all the way into what's called the extraction mode. So we were the tallest vehicle at the show. Maybe a Jeep. There was a Jeep that was there that might have been a little taller than us, but I think we were pretty darn close. Now it did have the 22-inch wheels. Again, not an efficient vehicle, but that's okay. Uh, it does do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is ridiculous for such a heavy vehicle. The one we were showing was 10,000 pounds. Well, 10,005 pounds. Like legitimately over 10,000 pounds. Just a ridiculous beast. Um, but we did have the hardtop or the glass roof pieces off, and those were stored in the front area. So it really does have a really nice size front area. So if you're not using or if you want the glass tops off, they do have little bags that they go in and they sit up front. It didn't seem like they were super secure, but maybe that's just me. Um, Maybe they're a lot more durable than I'm thinking of. So to me, I'd be scared to drive with them in there, but who knows? If warranty will cover it, give it a try. And so we had a lot of people. Actually, the ones that I found were the most interactive were ones that had already like a Hummer H2 or an H3, and they were really liking the looks of it, really liking how efficient it is in a way compared to theirs, how much more performance it has, and how little it costs here in Manitoba to fill it up. So to get 500 kilometers of range on this here in Manitoba is $20. So they were amazed by that. So yeah, it was great chatting with that. I didn't get a whole lot of time driving it, but it's again super quiet with the roof on. Even actually, I did do a radio interview with the glass tops off, and even that actually kept a lot of outside noise out. So that was quite impressive actually, and so very quiet inside. Uh, that's kind of all I got. It I don't know. It's cool. It is a massive attention grabber, and but I don't know how practical it is that you'd be going off road with it. So the one we had was 130 grand. Although they were showing, Jeep was there showing a Wrangler, I believe, a Wrangler Rubicon, something like that. But they wanted 120 grand for that. So if that's kind of the segment it's in, you're way better off spending the 132,000 and getting the GMC Hummer. You got the efficiency on fuel. You got the extra cameras. You got all the adjustability of the air suspension. You got the maintenance, the lack of maintenance type deal on the electric vehicles. And you just got a bigger, more comfortable vehicle. So yeah, if you're in the market for an all-terrain type vehicle, Jeep or whatnot, take a look at the Hummer. It's an awesome looking car or truck, SUV, whatnot. The one we had was the SUV, not the truck version. Now, kind of going from there, because actually we did a setup on Thursday, and that was when it was kind of news broke that that Tesla and Chinese manufacturers or Chinese vehicles were being removed from the Manitoba EV rebate. So with that, so we got a lot of news and radio that wanted to talk about that. So it's, from what I hear, it's not 100% official yet, but it's, oh no, as far as I'm seeing, it has been, it is official, it is going ahead. And so I'm just looking at driveteslacanada.ca, their little deal on it. And yeah, it basically, they did remove Tesla, which I think it almost had to happen. This was all part of a response, right, to the United States about the tariffs, right? Um, and how do you make the most impact with that? With the way Canada's been doing their kind of responses, it's been very pick and choose who they kind of go after. So with this Tesla, uh, CEO is Elon Musk, right? And he's the one really making it seems like a lot of calls in the states, right? So how do you impact him the most? You get rid of the rebates. Now Manitoba's not the first one to get rid of the rebates either. BC and Ontario, I believe, have uh, both removed even so Teslas are removed off their rebate program, but also they had like EV charging rebates. So I guess if you need to install a charger at your house, you can get incentives and rebates for that. And so they're also being removed off those lists. So you can't even use money from the government to install a charger from Tesla. Uh, the city of Toronto is going ahead and removing Tesla off the list. There are cabs and rideshare vehicles that were electric. You could get essentially other perks, essentially money off. Didn't need didn't need certain licenses and all that, but Tesla's being removed off that. So uh, it's a major hit. Now with the Chinese vehicles, I'm not sure how they're doing it. It basically is we don't really have Chinese vehicles here. So I don't know if Volvo is being classified as a Chinese manufacturer or if because the vehicles that we're getting here in Canada aren't made in China, but technically Volvo is owned by a Chinese company. How they're working it, I guess that's for the bigger powers to be, right? It's um I know I don't want to be a part of that process. So, but I still think that bringing Chinese vehicles, manufactured vehicles here, like BYD, my brain is fogging on some of the other manufacturers, but they got some great vehicles doing there. Huawei is making some great vehicles. And I feel like if we start bringing those into Canada, it will it will be like the when the Japanese and Korean manufacturers started coming in the late 80s, early 90s. It forces the North American manufacturers to step up and actually start producing vehicles that people want to make or people want, right? That aren't massive SUVs, aren't vehicles that are like 70 grand or more. The average price of any vehicle, gas or electric, is $70,000 right now. That's ridiculous as a first vehicle. Like at work today, a gentleman was talking about they're just looking for a cheap vehicle as a kind of first vehicle type deal, and they actually found a Mitsubishi Mirage, I believe it is, $24,000. That's the vehicles we need. There's like no other vehicles in that price point. Yeah, they're not going to be the nicest. They're not going to be the best. They're not going to be. We were actually talking with that Mitsubishi about he had watched some reviews about it. And they basically were complaining about how it's very plasticky. The engine is too small for it, and like all these things. And he said all their negatives were the reason why he wanted the vehicle, and that's our North American way of thinking is bigger is better. As a first time vehicle buyer, vehicle owner, why do you need a massive vehicle? If you're just one person, one of my first vehicles I ever bought was a 2007 Hyundai Accent. just a tiny little two-door hatchback. I wish Hyundai would come back out with that as a fully electric. That would be awesome. Super inexpensive vehicle. It's cheap to run, cheap to maintain. It was a great car. And that's what we need. We need those vehicles back. We need those choices. Um, so yeah, that's my little rant about that. uh, on the other side of it, what's kind of going on is with regards to the wife's Tesla Model X, we have switched over the winter tires to the summer because both passenger tires had holes in them. So figured go get those patched and might as well, if you're taking off 2 out of the 4 tires, might as well just swap over. For the most part, I think we're done. I'm hoping we're done winter. So yeah, one tire had 1 screw or nail in it. The other had 2. So I don't know how she finds all these, but she seems to get them in all her tires. Like even when we swapped over the tires the last time, she seemed to get one in. So it's impressive that the Tesla is highly attracted to foreign objects puncturing tires. So, but in that swap over, the place we took it to forgot to actually, with Teslas, you have to, on their center screen, basically change the tire. So our winter tires are 19-inch rims. Our summer tires are 20-inch rims. So you have to physically go into the computer type deal and change it, and then it does a whole reset. But we found out that apparently if you don't do that, and I didn't notice it, was essentially it almost seems like the brakes stay on. So there was some resistance, but I wasn't saying anything. I had one errand to do on my way home, and as I was driving, it then popped up as a trailer detected, and then another little deal where this vehicle is not equipped to handle a trailer, something like that. And that stayed on for a while. It eventually went away with, like, the little trailer detected deal stayed on, but the resistance kind of went away. But then when I got home, it almost smelled like rubber was really warm, and the brakes were really warm. So I'm assuming it was kind of holding the brakes on, and the reverse reverse sensors didn't work either. So I don't know why I thought of it, but I did go in and just check if the tires were changed, and I noticed they weren't. And so I changed it. All the computers did their reset, and today it seems good. The wife said there was no issues. It drove fine. It drove normal. So yeah, so if you ever go get your tires changed somewhere and you feel that resistance initially, stop and check and see if the tire size has been changed on your vehicle, because apparently that has a much bigger effect than I would have thought. So yeah, I think that's kind of all I got. So I'm recording early, but this is going to be released later. So you'll be looking at this will be released next Monday, so our Thursday meeting will already be done. But if you do want to reach out to me and chat, you can reach out to me on email at truenorthevpodcast@gmail.com. And or you could check me out on Facebook at True North EV. Message me there. I don't really do a great job at posting on Facebook or anywhere. I'm trying to take a break off social media, so if you need an actual response, best is to reach out to me on True North EV. Yeah, and Our next episode, I'm actually going to be recording after this, and actually, it's going to be chatting with a firefighter about EV battery fires. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and you guys have yourselves a great day.